Did we hit rock bottom, Said? Have Man United hit rock bottom, and now we're looking at what we can do from here? Is that the vibe right now?
I can't lie to you, Adam. Yeah, I think we have hit a level where it was dark, it was grim, it was bad, it was ugly. We were all looking at each other outside Old Trafford thinking, is Ruben Amorim going to get himself out of this mess? But you know what, Adam? I know it's not a lot, and people might laugh and say, this is my United, what you're talking about. But it looks like United has started to develop a little bit of a winning habit. It started to develop ideas that the manager was talking about. They started to understand each other. The manager's understanding the players, and he started to kind of almost like understand what it means to be a Man United manager now. Like, you can be stubborn in your own ideas, but you have to adapt. There's so many circumstances around Old Trafford, the press, the media, the pressure, the fan pressure. It can eat you alive. And he's starting to understand what the role is at Man United, and you've got to be open to every idea. And he's been doing that now. He's been adapting to different methods. He's been getting a style of play now more consistently. We're playing a bit more free-flowing football, Adam. And you know what? Like, the fans are starting to enjoy it a little bit more. Like, the fan last night was amazing. They were excellent. You could hear them from the telly. And yeah, now, honestly, I think without saying when we're back, we're definitely out of that dark place that we were in, a couple of months ago. Definitely.
Which was basically Manchester United, forgetting how to play football, forgetting how to pass 10 yards, forgetting how to actually tackle, the actual willingness to actually run up and down the pitch. That type of United. And there's been plenty of games side where we've been in that mode, and we know it, like the Bournemouth, the Newcastle, booing off Xerxes. It just feels like, do you think that Ruben Amorim has adapted? He's going to say he's not, but are you seeing signs that he's adapting what he wanted these players to do a little bit just to try and get results?
Yes, I do. I think for me, he talked about at the start, I remember him saying in December that if I change as a manager, that will be the last of me, and little did he know that you are going to get a bit more time than just the first 2 months at Old Trafford and United. But since then, he's talked about getting results instead of style of play and prioritizing results. And that's what you got to do to survive, unfortunately. You can't say to yourself, Adam, that we're going to stick to a principle and be stubborn. You've got to be open to ideas of, let's get a few results together and build confidence through results. Because you can do. Winning habit is a special feeling, and you can't beat that, especially with a group of players that have not been winning as many trophies as they want to. They've not been hitting the ceiling that they want to. We're languishing at 13th, 14th right now. We only got one competition left to play in. There's been a lot of losses, a lot of downs this season. So to get results against a team that you're meant to be beating should never be looked down upon. And he's seeing that. He's understood that now. And it's good to see him a bit more smiling, even though he's doing about 1,000 interviews, which is quite funny at the minute.
Every time United turn up for a European game, it's TNT, it's Rio Ferdinand. Ferdinand's in the house. Everyone's interviewing him. Sky have taken their pound of flesh as well. But talking about European games, obviously, say that one competition we are in for, we can forget the league, obviously, but the Europa League last night, everyone billed that game as the do or die. It's make or break. If the season's ended, we just spoke off camera then, it was like, what do we play for if United don't actually get through this tie? But best performance of the season for you was that? I mean, second half, we seen a lot there, didn't we? It was a lot better.
You know what, man? I was actually enjoying last night, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, people can say it's Real Sociedad, but listen, we played teams like Leicester at home, and we've not been able to put a good performance together. I thought that was sensational football. A lot of players linking up well with each other. A lot of unselfish play from a lot of players. A little bit of enjoyment, the crowd enjoying it. And I actually watched the highlights back. Like, I don't normally do that against United, but I actually watched
I did
extended
that well,
highlights. Yeah. I actually watched extended highlights because I was like, you know what? I actually enjoyed it. Xerxes was absolutely outstanding. Listen, you know me, I've criticized Højlund a lot, but he was very, very efficient in what he was trying to do when he was getting off things, and he was actually, holding up the play, linking up the play, got an assist as well. So good to see him out there. And obviously the captain, Bruno, who again led by example again. So you know what? Everyone, Aiden Heaven, youngsters, Dorgu, a mixture of experience and the youth, man, combining well together and seeing a complete performance from United. I think for me, from in the second half especially. But yeah, overall, top stuff, man. Like let's continue this into Leicester.
Well, that's it. I've got a question to ask you now, sir, because me and you have had conversations before. We've had to in and fro in, tit for tat about our captain, Bruno Fernandes. You said it there, mate. You just said it there. Look, he led by example. I've always had his corner, and you know that. I've been fair with the critique. A lot of people, I know yourself, you've had a problem with Bruno Fernandes. It's personal. We've seen the videos, mate. We've had it, but that's the frustration of this fan base. Is he proving Manchester United fans wrong right now in just the way that, because I think he's changed. I really do think he's changed. You think he's adapted, and this is why a lot of the fans are like, do you know what? Without this guy, we are finished, mate.
You know what? I think since he's been playing in that 6 role, I think he's had to adapt his game and not be a kind of
I agree,
a detriment to Man United in terms of giving the ball away. I think he now has a responsibility that the manager knows. He now is a captain, has to lead by example. I think at the start, you see this erratic nature, you know, in the system where he wanted to do everything by himself. The manager even called him out and said, listen, he's doing things that, you know, he shouldn't be doing, and he will have to, you know, understand his system. My thing with Bruno is that I think when you look at the whole team and you look at what he wants to do, that forceful nature, I think sometimes it disrupts our style of play. And I think for me, then we become a worse team for it. And I've seen that so many times, but credit to Amorim, credit to him as well, Bruno. They've looked at that, they've trained on it, and right now he's reaping the rewards of that. Like, he's understanding that.
How do you mean like that destructive? How do you mean a destructive play, like the petulant
maybe
side
giving
of
the ball away, and then we're having
Right.
a lot of turnovers, the lack of discipline in position-wise, stuff like that. Like that forceful nature where he wants to kind of do everything by himself and be hero. I think sometimes I don't really like that from him, you know, and people can say he's a team player and he gets the goals and assists, therefore he's a team player. But sometimes that kind of spamming the ball, you know, and forcing a lot of things, for me, I just don't rate that in a game from someone. It's cool. Do it when you're closer to the goal, but not in the middle of the box, in the middle of the halfway line when we've got so many players forward. So there's parts of the game that I won't say to you right now that I can agree with you, but ultimately, Bruno is now delivering. I can't really say a bad word about Bruno. Bruno is delivering, Bruno's performing, and credit where it's due, and credit will be given to a player when they perform well. So listen, may it continue. If he can give us a Europa League on by him just performing and him carrying us and him being the sole purpose as to why we do it, listen, I am all for that. And we are all Man United fans, so it's a benefit of United, and we're all for it.
On that really side, you just said it there in terms of as Bruno dropping deeper, it rolls into the Amorim adapting his team around. Garnacho on the right side. I've got to ask you that question because we're getting results. Obviously, he got the assist in the first leg against Sociedad. Again, he got the assist for Bruno when he could have played it to the left. He waited. He was a bit more. He was a little bit more patient, I think, and his decision making, where everybody has criticised, has definitely changed, I feel. And I feel like Ruben, and you know what? It's going to lead us on to the next topic in a minute anyway, but I feel like the players are now starting to realise that, do you know what? Ruben ain't going anywhere. You've just had Sir Jim come out, back him. The CEO, Omar Barad, has come out and backed him. He is doing things that he's allowed to do under this ownership. And I think this is the big difference in the hierarchy, communication-wise, and that togetherness with them and the manager, mate. Do you feel like that's got anything to do with it at all? Like, Amorim isn't going anywhere. These players have to change. This is what's needed for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Listen, Garnacho especially as well. I think he's almost like he has to do it because he knows Amorim ain't gonna have this, bro. And he's had a few little falling outs with the manager here and there, and he's having to maybe put down his ego aside and put aside his kind of almost the way he is in terms of his confidence and maybe overconfidence, and now having to be a team player. And I think he's better suited on the right hand side, if I'm being honest with you, because he's got less time to think, he's got less time to do and cut in and take a shot. He tried it 1 or 2 times yesterday, got dealt with, and then was like, right, okay, cool, we need to pass now. So I think for me, he's he's learning that, you know what, on the right side, it suits his game better. The manager's understood that, you know what, he doesn't have to think a lot, right? Look up, pass, you know, and that's all you got to do. You know what I mean? And as a player, other players will appreciate your games. You're very, very unselfish, especially if you're Garnacho and you're a winger.
I agree with that. I do think that Garnacho is starting to mature a lot off the pitch, on the pitch, and that I think is down to Ruben Amorim again. Younger players, he seems to get a tune out of. He does. Obviously, if younger players, we heard the news this morning about Giovanni Klender, and that you did a video early doors on it, Saeed, yourself. It was like a bolt from the blue. How the hell does a deal get done like that all of a sudden? In the middle of the night, in the middle of the season, he's passed the medical. Are you concerned that this is how United now are going to be, what United are faced with in the transfer window? Teams are in a better position financially, are able to get deals done quicker, and therefore we're left stranded as such.
Yeah, it just shows you the problems we've had now in terms of our financials. We have to sell to buy, and that is a problem. Chelsea have the flex of saying to him, yo, stay where you are for a year, and we can get you on a reduced fee, you know, for the season of 26-27. He is only, going to be 18 in April. So they've got the financial capabilities of doing that. They've also got the amount of players that they've got. They can afford to do that as well. We don't really have that array of players we can choose from. And also, we need Quenda now. We need Quenda tomorrow. We don't need Quenda in 2026. And that is the issue that we've got, you know. Chelsea don't need him now. We need him now. They've got Esteval coming. They've got Kendrick Paez coming. Got a lot of young players that are coming in 2025. So for us, it is a kick in the teeth, but we have to deal with it. This is the reality, man. I think it's ultimately, this is going to be the sign of what's to come now. You know what I mean? And what idiots are going to do? What's Omar Barada going to do? Where the funds coming in? How we're going to facilitate this? How we're going to get players in the market where we don't get overspend? We don't, there's not a situation where people take the mick out of us and try and inflate the price. We have to stick to our beliefs, stick to our principles, and buy players that are suitable and fit the fair bracket of their price tag. We have to. We can't get fleeced this summer. We can't get overpriced this summer. This is not going to happen this summer because we ran out of money.
I did a tweet. Yeah, I did a tweet earlier on this morning, mate. You just brought us on to recruitment there and everything. I don't think we will get fleeced. I don't think Manchester United are going to get fleeced this transfer window because I tweeted out, so last night we started with Aiden Heaven, Nusam Mazraoui, Patrick Dorgu, all of them players combined together. You could even add Lenny Yoro to that side, mate.
Yeah.
And that's still the same price of what we paid for Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire, I know.
And they're all top 4 players that will start in this team. That is they're all brought in by the new structure. Every single one of them signings. Is that something that we could probably cling on to and go, well, this summer at least we've got people in place that know what they're actually bleeding doing?
Yeah, no, I agree. When you look at the summer recruitment this summer, it was actually fair value. You're looking at 12 million for Mazraoui, 45 for Delete. Lenny Yoro was decent. Xerxes was 34, spread over the 3 years as well. You got to remember that as well. So we managed to do that, spread the cost of the payments. So these things are positive signs. But they always say the second season is always as difficult. It's going to be as tougher because now people have clocked on to what you're trying to do now. Now, how do we react to the second season now where we might not have Champions League football? We might not have European football. How then do you approach a player without those leverages? And that is a big leverage, European football. How do you then say to players, right, come and buy into our project? And that Quenda one was almost one of them where you could easily talk to Quenda and say, listen, Amorim, go get on the line. But even that seems to be not the case where Amorim can't go on the line and say, come and join us because the money isn't there right now. So we've got to be careful, stick to our principles. And there is more talent out there. There is players like Tyler Diblin that won't cost you an arm and a leg. There is players that will be there.
Reports today on Diblin, mate, were about 32, 35 million is what Southampton want.
There you go.
2 years left. You buy that, don't you? You take him.
Yeah, you buy that. Absolutely. You definitely buy that. Very highly talented, can play multiple positions as well. I think he's the one that I'm looking at this summer as a top young talent, you know what I mean? And someone that I think will be the future for England, not only for England, but United.
Totally agree on that one, mate. That's recruitment, and we know what we're up against. I don't think anybody's getting carried away. But again, like we said, we've been rock bottom and we're moving up a little bit. We're getting performances coming in, we're getting players changing, we're finding roles for players, we're adapting with the squad we've got. Recruitment has been better under Ineos, and hopefully with Amorim involved as well now, we're going to the summer firing on that side of it. We've got to talk, obviously, Said, you're a match-going fan, the stadium. We'll get on to Jim Ratcliffe, that interview in a moment and what has been said. Have you been bowled over by it? I've been doing plenty of interviews this week on this. I've had a lot of stick for my opinion on it. It's going to split the fan base, obviously, I feel. But you're a match-going fan, Said. You're looking at them images. Can you see yourself sat in that type of stadium in maybe, I don't know how many years' time, Said, but the overall look of it, is that where we need to be?
Yeah, I think for me, we definitely need a stadium. Like this idea that Man United don't need a stadium, for me, I'm on the side that we do need a stadium. I'm on the side that we do need to have this state-of-the-art facility and state-of-the-art stadium that represents Man United. I do believe that. Obviously, the AI images are the AI images. We don't know if it's going to look like that, but that's what they've said it's going to look like. That we've looked at a world-class, apparently meant to be architect, from Manchester, is meant to be, known and do his thing there. So it's not as if they're going to make something up. How they're going to fund it is a different matter. I don't know yet, but you can be excited at the same time, but also know that, you know what, you have a bit of hesitancy in terms of Ineos and how they're going to go about it. And that is where I believe, we can look at how they're going to raise the funds. I don't know if you've seen Omar Barada's interview, but it was a little bit of a load of waffle, if I'm being honest with you. He didn't really answer any questions. You know what I mean? But again, like I said, if he maybe doesn't know the answers right now, that's fair enough. You know what I mean? You can be understanding of that. But all in all, Adam, I think for me, I'm excited about having a new stadium, but I'm also questioning how they're going to fund it. And if that's the case, then have they led the fans in a bit of a sticky situation where they get excited about something that might not happen for the next 10 years? So will that be the case? So we have to wait and see. And it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting as to what they try to do in this.
I think Omar was just ringing you there on your mobile, mate.
Yeah, Omar Barada,
Said, we don't need this negative vibe running through.
Yeah,
but no, you just mentioned something there, and I did this when I was talking to Sky Sports. Actually, it's like all of this talk. We're talking Barada, we're talking Amorim, what he's saying about the stadium. We're talking about what's the Jim Ratcliffe's, David Brailsford's role. Lord Cole was there. Everything that's happened with Lord Foster as well. Meccano bringing it up the shit canal, bringing it back to its roots. Manchester United, Gary Neville voiceover. There's someone missing, mate. There's someone missing out of all of this, and no one's mentioned them at all, unless it was me talking about it or some of the other fans talking about it. Where the effing hell are the Glazers in all of this, mate? Where is their investment? So that's the biggest concern. It's like, it's good, but nothing's going to happen. Nothing is going to happen without the Glazers say so, and they just seem to be sat there, mate, talking about whatever they want to talk about over there in Florida, while everyone else is grafting and taking shit for what they basically own.
Yeah, no, 100%, and that's something that you can't pin on the Glazers, isn't it? I don't think they're gonna put any money into that. The Glazers, they've said to Ineos, "You go find it. It's your idea. It's your problem." That is a joke when you actually deep it at them. Like the fact that they're not doing it, and then later on, if they're there on the opening ceremony when they announce this all and they start to say that they've took part in it, that will be an absolute ball. Like that will
make Jim look like an absolute clown, mate. In my opinion,
it will, and that is something that So Jim has to understand that he has to separate himself from him and the Glazers. He needs to do that. I know it's tough because you're business partners, but you know what? You need to make it clear that you made the idea. You're investing in it. You're doing your thing. You're making sure all of the kind of cogs and everything that we need to do. You're installing everything. So you're driving the force of this new stadium. And fair play. You know what I mean? But like I said, the Glazers have had no input. They've neglected the stadium. The roof's leaking. They've not done anything to kind of almost modernize Old Trafford. They've not, apart from a bit of painting. That's it.
Yeah.
And some Wi-Fi. That's it.
And some Wi-Fi, yeah, which is shit now as well. My God. Oh God, honestly, mate. You try to download anything outside Old Trafford, you've scrambled straight away. It's a nightmare, mate.
Oh man,
I tell you. No, I mean, I like the stadium, 100,000 seater stadium. Are you on board with the multifunctional side of things, Saeed? Do you want to see other events? Because there's a lot of United fans, hardcore United fans, that just want football there. The Stone Age, the dinosaurs, I call them. I mean, I'm open to boxing, NFL, concerts.
Yeah. Why not?
We need to move with that side of things, don't we?
I think for me, listen, if it raises money, if it raises cash, and we can benefit from that. I know it's not our money, but it helps the cause of Man United. But listen, boxing events, you know what I mean? I don't know, Formula One. What do they do at Tottenham? Concerts. Listen, let's get on with it, man. It happens at every other club. It's happening at the Burnabout. It's happening everywhere, man. So we need to get with the times and understand that, you know what, United have to do this as well. Where we are a unique club, but we also have to get with the times of where revenue comes from. Like we have to have multiple streams of revenue, multiple lines of revenue coming through. You've got to. If you don't, then you're silly. You look stupid, because end of the day, you've got to maximize everything that you can. A world-class facility, you bring in other ideas. So why not? Why not?
That's it, mate. I mean, you look at it, so Jim Ratcliffe, the interview, we'll just touch on that. Gary Neville's interview for you, was it fair? Was it scripted? Was it all a little bit of spin? Which way did you look at that interview side in terms of how it came across? Do you think Gary Neville asked the right questions? It looked a bit awkward at times because Jim Ratcliffe looked like he was sheepishly trying to get out of some of them.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think you're right, man. It did look awkward. He kept looking towards the actual windows and everything, but Gary Neville at times.
He's not really much of an eye contact person, is he, Sir Jim, when he's talking? That's one thing I picked up on.
No, he's not an eye contact person, and that shows you the state of the situation right now. It is a bit uncomfortable. It is a bit, he is alien to this. You know what I mean? He hasn't maybe had to struggle at other clubs. I don't know, maybe at least there was the idea of, let's pump up money and everyone will just kind of shut up about it. He is being held accountable, something that he didn't have at his other clubs. So there are many factors now as to what he's having to do now, and he's having to actually speak up for, be accountable for. Glazer's mistakes as well. Glazer, can you not speak to them? So I looked at it as more of a PR exercise just before the stadium. But I also like the fact that Gary Neville did have some important questions as well that we needed to hear. Whether we agree with it or not, we needed to hear things. We needed to hear about the money. We needed to hear about what was he going to do about the 40,000 that was meant to be for the ex-players. The fact that he was a bit out of touch with food and in terms of, giving staff food and whatnot. He was a bit out of touch, Jim Ratcliffe. And he has to understand that more, that he's inheriting all this wealth and he's had to work from the ground up. But you have to now give back, man, as a wealthy owner. You can't just be, take. You do have to give. And that has to come out of your own pocket, I'm afraid. So, and then you claim to be a United fan, you claim to be from local Manchester, you claim to come off a council estate. Well, is that the soul right now? I don't feel like we get that from you. We don't feel that kind of, that emotional connection from you in that regard. So you need to buckle up your ideas, mate. You definitely need to do that.
Yeah, well, I think every single United fan has been on a bit of a roller coaster the last week. Well, let's just say the last few months anyway. But international break is here, Saeed. One more game to go. Ruben Amorim has just been talking to the media after last night's game. He's talking about Aiden Heaven. One big quote that came out from him was, if he plays like that, he is going to play again. Are you one of these now? Have you seen enough there in one performance there in the biggest game of the season from the likes of Aiden Heaven? Would you start him in the game against Leicester this weekend, Saeed?
You know what? I would, like, I don't see why not, man. Maguire, you know what I mean? We've been a bit of a good form without Maguire now. You know what I mean? De Ligt's looking very, very good in that middle part. Mazarawi looks ever present in that area as well. Obviously, Lenny Yoro, I think we've got to manage Lenny Yoro's minutes now. I think don't rush him in this game. Play Aiden Heaven. It is against Leicester. We're looking to control the game. We're looking to dominate the game again. So I wouldn't play Lenny Yoro for that game, because I just feel like for me, we're going to be, I don't know. I just think that these injuries are catching up to Lenny Euro at the minute, and he needs to adapt to that and then have a 2 weeks off as well. So yeah, I would play him. He looks so confident, man. Strong, he's physical, he's tall, he's quick, he's dynamic, he's good on the ball. His first touch is good. He can play out from the back.
Agreed.
He's very. He's got the makers of a top centre back. And listen, without putting too much, kind of expectation on him, we have got a gem here for £1 million from Arsenal. And thank you very much, Arsenal, for giving us our way. Well, thank you very much for Chino and for Aiden Heaven.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you looked at Jared Branthwaite, 75 million for that left-hand-sided centre-back. It's like, now you're all right. We'll stick with Heaven for $1 million. You keep Branthwaite over there, Everton. We don't need him. One name was mentioned in the press conference side. This may send a bit of a shiver down your spine, mate, but there's a half a chance Mason Mount might actually be on the bench, Ruben said.
Wow.
I think your words said it all. Wow there, mate.
Wow. Listen, let's hopefully he can stay fit now until he gets to the stadium, right? Let's see. Hopefully it's everything's risk-free. There's no injuries. They've got to make sure they've got some risk assessments from here to the Leicester Stadium, man. Make sure he's okay getting on the train.
Well,
getting on wherever he needs to do.
Algorithm, aren't they? So, from Manchester University about player injury and risking signing players.
Yeah, exactly, mate. But yeah, listen, let's see what benefit he can give us. I don't expect him to stay fit, but let's see, one game at a time, man. Yeah, I mean, we've got international break. There'll be something or somewhere that we'll find out that Mason Mount is injured during the international break. But let's see if he can stay fit, man. And rest of the season, we need him. We need players. We need bodies, man. So let's see what he can give us and provide us.
I wouldn't mind seeing Mason Mount in a 10 and giving Rasmus a rest out. Maybe put Xerxes up. I honestly don't know. We desperately need, quickly, before you go, Side, we just talked some recruitment before. Two key positions. You've got to spend the majority of your money on two positions. Has it changed throughout the season for you in terms of where is necessary more than other positions? What would you buy? Where would you go? You've got two players that you're spending a chunk of your Wonga on. Who are you going for? What two key positions?
I'm going for midfield and the wing back role. So the right wing back. So
you're
midfield and right.
Eight midfield, yeah. Number 8. Like a carrying ball player.
Ball carrying midfielder and a right wing back. Okay, cool. We haven't got many strikers up front, but I think if you get them two, you got a bit more balance in the team. You know what I mean, and whatnot. So I'm going for that for me personally. If you gave me two, and I only had two, a right wing back that can carry the ball and a ball playing centre midfielder, that would be sensational. But again, hopefully we get more than that because we definitely need more than just two. Do you know what I mean? But we need to get selling, right?
Mate, I went number 9 and number 1. Me, that was my key positions.
Wow.
I'm out in Anana, honestly, mate. I'm done with him. Even if we bring back Vitek at the moment or somebody else, I think we need a goalkeeper to give confidence to the defense, and I do think we need the strikers need to start scoring goals, side, because we can't keep relying on Bruno and the defenders and the wing backs. Like the goals are all coming from midfield and defense at the moment. We're not scoring any goals from our forwards. That's the problem.
Yeah, apart from last night, the goals were really little. I think that's the first time we scored 4 since Everton game, I believe.
Yeah, Everton at home. At least Ruben Amorim has got over 4 goals a couple of times in his
I was going to say it's time of Man United. Bloody hell, man! We barely got that under Ten Hag. Crazy.
Well, Saeed, before we go, mate, cheers for coming on. Absolute legend. Always. Check out Saeed's channel. That is in the description below as well, guys. You don't need to search him. Everybody knows who Saeed is. He's absolutely killing it right now. But prediction for the weekend, Side, we're going to have a chill over the international break with what result against Leicester? How are we going in?
2-0. Let's do it, man. 2-0. I think we'll get a clean sheet. And you know what? A much needed rest. Me and Adam needs to rest over the international break, man. I don't want to be discussing how bad United have been because have you noticed every other international break we've been talking negatively about United?
We have. We always leave on a shitter.
Yeah, we always leave on a shitter. Finally, let's go out on a high and let's just have a rest because April is a big, big month for United. We got Nottingham Forest, Man City, Lyon.
Double header.
It's of it, Newcastle, Bournemouth. It's a tough month. So,
mate, honestly, like City, At home, the derby's coming up as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
tough
looking.
month. So yeah, we gotta just enjoy this next 2 weeks, relax. You know what I mean? And yeah, and then after that, the hard work begins because boy, it will be a tough end to the season. Hopefully, Kobe can come back. Hopefully, dare I say, Amad Diallo. I don't know. Somebody's telling me Amad Diallo's going to be back soon. You know, because he's not got his foot thingy on. You know, the foot protector on.
Mate, I watched him last night walking out with Garnacho with nothing on, but Ruben, and there is a rumor going around that that Amad will be back in training in the next few weeks, so we could see him back.
Oh, that would be absolutely sensational, bro. Yo,
Amad and Mount supporting whoever up front is a different dynamic altogether, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You got options there, man. You got options. And listen, we need options right now. Hopefully, Kobe might make a little rate return as well. Bro, listen, you could end the season winning the Europa League, Adam. That would be up. If we lose that Europa League, it just feels like it's just been the mood, the change in the mood, Adam, is going to be absolutely sickening, bro. Like,
one way or the other, mate, innit? One way or the other, it's going to go. We win it, it's going to be jubilation and upbeat. If we don't, I know what you're saying.
The whole summer, it's going to be tough, man. A lot of people fighting at each other about signings. Why we're not doing this? Why we're not doing that? There's no money. Then all of a sudden you get all the negative headlines coming out of nowhere. It's yeah, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, Said, we're going to finish on that because we are finishing positive. Cheers for coming on, mate. Absolute pleasure as always.
Always, mate. Thank you very much. Like I said, Adam wrote to 100K, man. Get Adam to 100K. Yeah. He deserves it, man.
This year, mate.
Yeah. Big up to you. Big up to you, man.
Get all your comments in below, everybody. Please, I know a lot of you have been in the Premier live chat as well while this has been going on, but please do drop your comments in or any questions to me or any of mine and Saeed's points from the show as well, everybody. But for now, that is us all wrapped up. Cheers for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to Saeed's channel, subscribe to Forever United TV, give the video a like on the way out, and more importantly, do get your comments in. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Have a good evening.